Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? What's happening, everybody? How we doing? How are we feeling? The Falcons coming off a utterly embarrassing loss to the Carolina Panthers. We're gonna talk about it real quick. We won't be here very, very long. We're gonna do just a little quick post-game analysis. Of course, I'm gonna be your host. My name is Toddy. And man, how embarrassing was today? How embarrassing was today? It's embarrassing that we always have to make videos and talk about how embarrassing the Falcons can get. And they once again outdid themselves today by embarrassing themselves, embarrassing the fans, embarrassing the city, embarrassing the state. Just totally embarrassing. You go and you lose to a 1-12 Carolina team. Oh my lord. We got to talk about this, y'all. We got to talk about this. As I said, we won't be here very long. Let's get the commercials out of the way. I want to welcome everybody in. Thank you for being here. If you will be so kind and hit that like button for me. As I say every single time, I ask you guys to do that, and also ladies to do that. It lets Facebook know that we are live, and that way they'll send out more notifications to people. We also stream on Facebook as well. That lets Mark Zuckerberg and his crew at Facebook also know that we are live as well. And that way the video gets out into bigger places. But yeah, please hit the like button for me. Also hit the notification bell, and that way you stay notified whenever we drop new content. And feel free to share the video also. Feel free to hit that share button. That definitely helps out. Let's get to it, man. Come on, Falcons. Like we gotta cut the music. We gotta talk about this. I'm at a loss for words, man. It's not often that the Falcons can have me at a loss for words, but I'm truly at a loss for words this game. This is just embarrassing. This is the second loss this season to a one-win team. Granted, excuse me, I accidentally muted myself. But granted, the Cardinals did get Kyler Murray back when they beat us, but yet it still was a one-win team. And we went up to Carolina today, and it was so embarrassing. First off, the game in itself was an embarrassment by the Falcons. Really for both teams, for just to be honest. But I'll give Carolina a break. They've been sorry all year. Again, they've only won one game. That was one of the worst displays of NFL football that I've seen in quite some time. It might be top five all time. Just worst display of football by both teams. I'll tell y'all straight up, if that was my favorite team in the world, there's no way in the world I would have wasted 3+ hours watching that trash. That was trash football by both teams. Oh yeah, I know it was cold. I know it was raining, but that's football. Ever since the beginning of time in regards to football being started, you've played in all elements: rain, sleet, snow, cold weather, hot weather. Okay, it was cold and it was raining. All right, that's football. That's what you play in. We watch these teams in the Midwest and the Northeast. They play in snowstorms. Okay, cool. So let's get past that part of it. It was a terrible game to watch. Both teams look pathetic. Both offenses look pathetic, and both coaching styles looks like that was the first time they had put on a headset. It was just garbage can football. Truly the toilet bowl of probably the decade, maybe the century, was played in Carolina today by the Falcons and also the Panthers. There was a reason that you could buy tickets for 45 cents to get in the game. That might be an all-time modern era record for the cheapest tickets to a NFL football game that wasn't even an exhibition game. Even exhibition games cost more. That's just how bad it was. And they lived up to that unfortunate billing because both teams were absolutely terrible garbage. Now, first things first, there was a report, and we talked about this, I think, on the Waffle House, where there was a report that came out of Flowery Branch. I presume it was from Arthur Blank or somebody very high up who talks to Blank very frequently, maybe McKay or somebody of that nature, that said the Falcons do anticipate to bring Arthur Smith back, with the exception of a catastrophic ending. I'm paraphrasing, but it went something like that. I'm quite sure everybody's watching this saw that report. Well, today, that was it. Today was it. A collapse or whatever they called it. Well, that was the collapse today. It happened today. It started at 1 p.m. and ended about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We saw the collapse. So that should signal the end of Arthur Smith's days as the Falcons head coach. That should be it. That was the late season collapse today. That report comes out this week, and then you go and lose to a 1-12 Carolina team with a struggling quarterback. A quarterback that's struggling just as bad as our quarterback has been struggling. And you go lose to it. You lose to a team in total disarray. You lose to a team that it was only like 19 people in the audience, and the Falcons had probably 8 of them. And you still lose that game. The Falcons are fighting and clawing to get in the playoffs, and yet still you still find a way to lose that game. So Arthur Smith should be dismissed. He really should be dismissed on Monday. At some point, Arthur Blank, you got to be the head honcho. You are the leader of this franchise. You are our leader as the owner of this team. So at some point, you got to say enough is enough. I'm tired of my franchise being embarrassed. I'm tired of my loyal fans being embarrassed. So you know what? I'm going to make a statement, and you got to go. I'm going to make a statement, and you got to go. And I know some realm of thinking maybe, well, there's still a slight chance we can make the playoffs. Forget all that. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all, and I know not everybody wants to hear this, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you do fire Arthur Smith and we do lose the rest of the games, because he is the play caller, the head coach, and he sets the offensive schemes. So if we happen to fire him and that really messes up the offense for the remaining 3 games, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world to happen. Because this team don't deserve to go to no playoffs. Falcons don't deserve to be in the playoffs. I'm going to be the first person to tell you that this team is not a good team. And I said that about 2 weeks ago. This is not a good team. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs. So if firing Arthur Smith really messes up the offense and nobody can step up and take over that playbook, fine. So be it. So be it. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to lose the rest of this game. Now, am I saying I hope we lose the rest of the games? No, I'm not saying that. So y'all don't go say, well, Titus said we need to tank, we need to lose the rest of our games. What I'm saying is it would not be the worst thing in the world to happen if we do lose the rest of these games. Right now, we actually have a top 10 draft pick. We're right now, NFL Tankathon, we're drafting 10 right now. So if we happen to lose the rest of this game, it won't be the worst thing in the world to happen to us. Because this team don't deserve to be in the postseason. No way, no how, at all. Went out there and lost to the Panthers, and embarrassed the fans, embarrassed yourself once again. It's almost like we say this every 2 weeks. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to go out there and lose the rest of the game. This is the rebuild that didn't rebuild. This is the rebuild that didn't rebuild. This team looked absolutely terrible, pathetic today. Absolutely garbage. Absolutely garbage. On offense, you barely got 200 yards total offense. And it kind of looked like Arthur Smith at this point didn't even care anymore. He's out here calling running plays on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 11, and you're running stretch off tackle plays. Like, what are we doing? It's almost like I was looking at a team that was trying to lose. I swear, it was almost like I was looking at a team in the Falcons trying to lose. And the team in the Panthers that's saying, well, we don't really want to win. We had kind of conceded we probably not going to win another game this year. But, Atlanta, if y'all want us to win, I guess we'll take it. The Falcons are like they didn't even want to win. And it was just sad to see. A very sad state of affairs today to watch what this team did. This was absolutely pathetic. Trash can football by the Falcons. Trash can football. And I will tell you this. We don't get a lot of national media attention, but we deserve it after today. I hope starting tomorrow morning, First Take, Undisputed, all the big guys, I hope they drag us through the mud. It's probably not going to happen because don't nobody really care about the Falcons nationally, as we already know. But I hope they drag us through the mud. I hope they drag this team through the mud. And I hope the local media, AJC, local radio stations, 92.9 The Game, I hope they drag them too. This team deserves to be dragged through the mud. So I hope every branch of media drags this team through the mud because they deserve it. Starting from the top all the way to the bottom. Arthur Smith, I don't know what you were doing today. I don't know what the play calling was today. The team didn't get up to play. Yeah, I know we had some key guys out, but it's like week 15. Everybody got key guys out. That's part of football in all levels of football. Even at high school, the last few games of a high school season, they're going to be missing some key guys out. So I'm not using that as an excuse, and I want to accept it as an excuse, especially when you're playing a team who's only won one game all season and they have a rookie quarterback. This would be different if you went out here and you played Kansas City, you played the Buffalo, you played the Detroit Lions. Well, one of the better teams of the league this year. But this was the Panthers. There's absolutely no excuses for this. Just total trash can football. And I hope Blank grabs his you-know-what and dismisses Arthur Smith 7 a.m. on Monday. Do it before everything opens at 9 a.m. Do it at 7 a.m. Make a real statement for once, Arthur Blank. It's almost like you sitting back just count money. And I've always been a big Arthur Blank guy. I know he does a lot in the community. I've always felt like he cares about the team. He cares about the fans. He cares about Atlanta. But if he doesn't make a statement and get rid of this coach, I'm going to start to question Arthur Blank. Does he really care, or is he okay because he's already sold all the PSLs and he's just making a bunch of money off this franchise and off the stadium and off the city? So if he doesn't step up and be the leader that he's supposed to do and dismiss this trash can ass coach, I'm going to question Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank, are you just like a bunch of these other owners? You just worry about the end of the year financial statement? You just wait on the statement to come in February? Well, how many hundreds of millions did I make this year? Did I make $600 million this year in profit? Did I make $500 million this year in profit? How much did I make from the SEC championship game? How much did I make from those Beyonce shows? How much did I make from the Taylor Swift shows? Hey, man, if I can get the Olympics in here, ooh. FIFA World Cup coming in, ooh, I'm making so much money. I don't give a damn if this team wins. I'm paid. I'm Arthur Blank. I'm your favorite billionaire. So if Arthur Blank don't step up to the plate and dismiss this coach, I'm going to question the owner because it starts at the top. So if Arthur Blank cannot step up and dismiss this coach and get this team on track, I'm just gonna feel like he's one of just one of these other super billionaire owners. Money is the motive. Because if it don't matter if only 20 people show up to the Falcons' next home game, the PSLs are already paid for. The PSLs are already paid for. He's already got sponsorship checks. The naming rights for Mercedes Benz, the y'all know Mercedes Benz, the car manufacturer. I think that deal was, and don't quote me on this, I looked at it years ago, but it slipped my mind. But I think it was about a $250 million deal that Blank made in order for Mercedes Benz to carry the sponsorship rights. So that check is going to come annually, whether the Falcons win a Super Bowl or whether they win 2 games. That's going to come. Chick-fil-A's check is going to come. Coca-Cola's check is going to come. Delta's check is going to come. All these main big sponsors, those checks are still going to come. So I'm going to start to question Mr. Blank if he doesn't start making some tough decisions to show the fans that he does care and he's not just like the rest of these owners out here just trying to get paid. Because I don't care what nobody says, man. It doesn't take 4 and 5 years to rebuild a franchise, to get some competent people in here. I'm not saying it's easy, but once you see something that isn't working, go away from it. Fans deserve better. The state deserves better. The city deserves better. To sit here and just keep watching this mediocre, below average, trash product every single Sunday. It's getting old. It's getting very old, Mr. Blank. Now, any other time, you always find the right things to say. You got a great way with words, the gift of gab. You find a way to placate this fan base anytime you talk. Now it's time to talk with your actions. Let your actions do your talking. There's no way you should bring this coach back. There's only 3 games left, and like I said, if you fire him and that makes it hard to run the offense because he was doing so much offensively, so be it. So be it. This season is already a wash, and we made that official today in Carolina. So it's Mr. Blank just count those checks. And season ticket prices increase every single year with a losing product. You increase the ticket prices in Kansas City, okay, they got to expect that. You know, hey, we win the Super Bowl. Hey, that's what comes with it. PSL owners in Atlanta, they see an increase every single year, and they get a bad product. Like, whoa, wait a minute. So if Arthur Blank don't make the right decision and get rid of this coach, man, I'm really going to start to question this owner. And I've really never even dug deep into Arthur Blank with a lot of criticism because I really like Arthur Blank. I really do. I liked him from day one. He came in saying the right things, making the right moves. He seemed very vested in this team, unlike the Rankin Smith family, who were the previous owners of the Falcons. So I've always liked Blank. I like what he does for the community and also for charity. But if he doesn't do the right thing, I'm going to start to wonder. Are Mr. Blank, are you doing that charity out of the kindness of your heart? Or are you the drug dealer who's passing out turkeys in the neighborhood on Thanksgiving? I'm going to start to wonder. And I know a lot of people, they say, you know what, Tyler, man, I checked out this season. And now it's starting to really make sense to me now. Like, I'm not finna keep raising my blood pressure up for this billionaire in Buckhead, and he's not even trying to win. Why should I care more than he should? I have to get up every morning and go to work. This guy literally don't have. This guy in his next 5, 6, 7 generations really don't have to work another day in their life. So why should I give my all and they don't give their all? It's starting to make perfect sense to me now. It's starting to make perfect sense. So I'm going to have my eye on what's going to happen these next 3 to 4 days. Let's see what Mr. Blank says and what he does. It's time to start letting the actions talk now. Because this was despicable. This was just a despicable play of football. I could even digest this better if we went out there and we played like we wanted to win. We coached like we wanted to win. If we lost the game 35-34, 31-35, 28-27 in a thriller, and we still played good, hard-nosed football. And you know what? They just somehow were the better team today, even with one win. Okay, you know what? I could tip my head and say, you know what? They showed up today. It was a division game. They came to play. But that's not what I saw. I saw a coach lay down, and I saw a lot of players out there lay down too. And we're supposed to be trying to push for a playoff spot. The NFL should just tell the Falcons, no matter what happens in the NFC South, y'all can't come in the playoffs. It don't matter. We're gonna change the rules because y'all don't deserve it. It was just absolutely despicable, y'all, and it's very frustrating, as y'all could probably tell by my tone. Shout out to Coach. I appreciate you, Coach. Coach says, "What's up, Title? What's going on, Coach? Smash that like button. Hit that like button for me, please." So you ready to join me? And I don't give a. Just spoke about that. And shoot the SHIT and have a few shots. And some of y'all thought we were going 4-1 and learn to listen to me. Shout out to Coach. Because, hey, Coach, you speaking number facts. And I just spoke on that too. Like when I talk to people, so, hey, man, I've checked out. I still love the team, but I checked out because they don't care. Why should I care? Why should I care as much as they care? And also, Coach, thank you a lot for the super chat. Really appreciate the support. Let me beat the drum for Coach. Appreciate the support on that, Coach. And y'all make sure to follow Coach also on YouTube at the Coach's Corner. Once he starts doing his videos, he's going to be focusing on Falcons defense. He's going to be the first person doing that on YouTube by all Falcons content creators. So make sure that you do follow him and show him a lot of love. And once again, Coach, you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. Why does it seem like the fans are more invested than the guys that making billions of dollars? Than the multi-millionaires, you know, in their $5, $6, $7 million mansions on the outskirts of Atlanta. It seems like the fans care more than the team do. That was just an absolutely pathetic display of football today, Coach. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking the entire game, if this wasn't my team, there is no way in the world I would sit here and invest 3+ hours of my time watching trash NFL football when I could turn this channel and watch some real NFL football. That was trash that I seen today. And the worst part about it is my team, our team, the Falcons, were on a losing end of an absolutely pathetic display of NFL football today. That was absolutely horrible. That might be a top 5 worst NFL game that I ever seen in my life. That was absolutely trash football. There was nothing good about that game. Nothing. And I know Carolina went to the locker room thinking like, well, how did we win this game? We played like, and Carolina is super trash. They played trash. Their coaching was not good today. We just somehow managed to be worse. Total embarrassment once again to the fan base. And this is some of the reason that I always say I'm an ambassador of the fan base. I try to pride myself on being an ambassador of the fan base. I always say that. Anytime somebody will come and say the Falcons fan base is trash, Falcons, we got the worst fan base in the league, Falcons ain't got no real, I always defend the fans. And like I said before, I always say, well, what is the franchise? If the fan base is trash, what does that say about the franchise? Are you telling me the fan base is trash and the franchise is good? You see the stuff we got to watch? You see what we got to put up with? That's why the fan base is as it is, because of the franchise. When people don't go to the games, you see why now. You see why now. Look at the product we got to deal with. And you see all these teams, they go through their ups and downs, but they find a way to get back up. Why is it that we got to drag this thing on 10 to 15 years before we can get ourselves back up? Yeah, I know we went through salary cap situations with Matt and Julio, but you can't use that no more as an excuse. Most teams go through salary cap situations. We ain't nothing special. The Saints been in salary cap hell for 15 years. They still find a way to be competitive. They still find a way to be competitive. So this team, the display of this team today, man, it was just absolutely garbage. It was absolutely trash. Arthur Smith was absolutely trash. He deserved to be fired. He should not have a job tomorrow at lunchtime. Tomorrow at lunchtime, somebody should be cleaning out his office. Tomorrow by lunchtime, someone should be cleaning out his office. I don't care that there's only 3 games left. I don't care how much control he had of the offense. So what? It's not the worst thing in the world if we lose. That's where I'm at with it. No, I'm not rooting for us to lose, but I'm being realistic about this team. It won't be the worst thing in the world if this team loses out. I'm not going to put on this act or this charade. Oh, no, win. No. This team does not deserve to go into the playoffs. That convinced me of that today. This team don't deserve to be in the playoffs. And everybody at top, I'm looking funny, yeah. Everybody up top. Blank, McKay, Arthur Smith, and Terry Fontenot. He ain't off the hook either. Terry Fontenot, he's not off the hook either. You and Arthur Smith and whoever else is in that bunch, y'all put this product out. You guys thought it would be a good idea to take a tight end at number 4. You guys thought it would be a good idea to take another pass catcher the following year. You guys thought it was a great idea to take a running back at 8. In the rebuild. Year 3 years in the rebuild. So Fontenot, you got to eat this too. Fontenot got to eat this too. Arthur Smith definitely need to get out of here. Terry Fontenot's seat should be hot right now. I'm saying it. Terry Fontenot's seat should be hot. Am I saying that he should be fired like Arthur Smith? I'm not going that far, but his seat should be warm at the very, very least. His seat should be warm. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, in a game we needed, in a game we desperately needed. Those 3 first-round draft picks gave us a combined total of about 72 yards today and no touchdowns and 1 fumble. And what was going on with Bijan Robinson today? Was this another one of these mysterious headache games? Bijan looked like he didn't even care today. What was going on with Bijan today? He was out there just going through the motions, dropped a critical pass, dropped a wide open critical pass. I can't put that on Desmond Ridder when Bijan out there dropping easy passes. I can't put that one on Ridder. What was Bijan Robinson doing today? I cannot put that on Ridder. What was Bijan doing today? Dropping passes and fumbling. And to be honest, Bijan really fumbled twice. He got away with the first one. What was Bijan doing? Was this another mysterious headache game from Bijan? He looked like he didn't even care. That's why toward the end Arthur Smith was like, bump it. I just got to ride Tyler Algier. I see these games from Bijan. Bijan to come out and he'll just have a superstar game. You'll be like, oh man, this guy gonna be the next Damian Thomason. And then he'll come out and he'll have a game today where he don't even show up mentally. Key fumble again to cost us the game. Second time this season, a Bijan fumble has cost his team the game. What was Bijan Robinson doing today? And I usually don't bang on rookies. But if I don't see any heart, any effort or desire, and you're missing wide open passes, I'm going to wonder what's going on. Bijan was out there just going through the motions. Go back and watch Bijan Robinson this game. Almost like he was damn near point shaving. I'm not saying he was point shaving, but I'm just saying it was just like, what are you doing, Bijan? Come on, bro. It's game time. Let's go. Get up. Let's go. What was up with Bijan? 8th overall pick. I don't even think Bijan had 15 total yards today. In fact, let's look at the stats. Did Bijan have at least 15 yards today? 3 yards receiving, 11 yards rushing. Bijan Robinson had 14 total yards. Bijan Robinson had 14 total yards. Man, this team. I can't put the Bijan fumble on Desmond Ridder. I can't do that to Desmond. I can't put the Bijan Robinson drop pass on Desmond. And when they showed the replay of the drop pass, it was just like almost like Bijan just wasn't even there. Like he just had mentally he was in another space. It was like Bijan today was just mentally in another space. I'm sitting here, I watched him in the first half. I was like, okay, well, Bijan didn't show up the first half, but sometimes that happened with Bijan. I know he's gonna come out the second half and Bijan gonna ball. He gonna put at least one touchdown on the board, whether that be a running touchdown or receiving touchdown. But Bijan was just like, okay. I didn't hit the rookie wall. I'm tired. I really don't care that much. Incredible, man. This was just incredible and very, very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. I see my dog Greg checking in from Greg Custom Kicks. Y'all make sure to show Greg some love everywhere on social media at Greg Custom Kicks. Make sure to also holler at Greg for your custom sneakers. He the best in the business at doing custom sneakers. At any point in time, Greg, as you already know, make sure to drop your links in the YouTube. Drop your work in the group, and y'all make sure to check him out. Get them custom kicks because he do some of the best work in the business. Gray's bro lead they ass in Carolina. We lost to a 1-12 team who was so bad the tickets were selling for 45 cents. Homie, let's ring the bell on a 45-cent ticket in 2024. There was no inflation in Carolina today. I'm embarrassed as a fan of the team. I'm mad as hell. Me too. And also, Greg, as always, man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the love with the super chat. Always supporting the channel. Always supporting just the brand of Atlanta Bird Game from day one. I definitely appreciate the love, homie. Much respect to you. And like y'all say, y'all make sure to show my dog some love at Greg Custom Kicks. Some of the best work you're going to find for your custom sneakers. And he says he's embarrassed as a fan, mad as hell. I'm the same way, bro. This was just embarrassing. How you lose to Carolina and you don't even show up as a team. The team didn't look like they came to play. Coach didn't look like they came to coach. I don't know what happened. I kind of want to say it looked like they were in preseason mode, but I've seen us come out every time and be more amped up in preseason than we showed today. This was just a utter embarrassing, man. This was utter embarrassment. And Greg, that's why I say, man, like Arthur Blank, he gotta make a move. You just cannot let this pattern of dismal play and dismal performances continue. This cannot continue. As the leader, Mr. Blank is the leader of the franchise, is the official leader of the team. It's up to him to say, hey, look, fan base, this is unacceptable to me as well. So we're gonna dismiss the coach. We're gonna let these last 3 games fall wherever they may, and we're gonna go from there. So Mr. Blank got to make a decision at this point in time. As much as none of us don't like Arthur Smith at this point, he can't fire himself. He can't fire himself. He's not going to resign. So Arthur Blank has to step to the plate and do what a leader needs to do to pump some type of confidence back into this product, into this brand, into his fan base. Because the morale and the confidence in this franchise is at an all-time low within the fan base. And again, that's why I always defend the fan base when people say we got terrible fans, we got bad fans. Like, well, what do you call the franchise? This franchise have not had a win this season since 2017. So if we're such bad and terrible fans, okay, well, what is the franchise? We are a representation of the team that we root for. You're not gonna have all-star, all-pro level fans with a very subpar product. That don't equate. So it's up to the Atlanta Falcons to change the trajectory of the fan base, of the franchise. And this is absolutely terrible, Greg. I'm right there with you, man. Embarrassed as a fan and mad as hell. And it's crazy. It is crazy. There has to be some drastic changes in the offense. In the off season, excuse me. And speaking of offense, hey, let's go to the leader of the offense on the field, Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder. As I said weeks ago, man, I really can't, or I really shouldn't even blame Desmond Ridder because he's only doing what was asked of him by the franchise, and that was to be a starting quarterback. If any of us were playing football and we were third or fourth round talent, and the powers that be say, "Hey, we want you to start," we're all going to accept that job and that task to be the starter. But he just ain't it, man. He just ain't it. And the thing about it, I fully believe in my heart of hearts that Ridder goes out there and he actually tries to perform well. I actually believe he wants to put this team on his shoulder, even though he's only a second-year quarterback. He's very young, very inexperienced. But I think he does have the desire to be the guy, to be a real legit franchise quarterback. I mean, I see it in his facial expressions at the time. I see sometimes when he throws the bad throws, he don't just brush it off or whatever. I see the disappointment in his face at times. Like, dang, I can't make that throw. I want to make that throw, but I can't make that throw. I saw it today. I saw it when he missed Kyle Pitts on the comeback route, and I just saw it in his face like, why can't I make that throw? I think he really tries as hard as he can, but he just don't have it. And as much as some people hate to hear this, that's why he was drafted in the 3rd round. That's why he didn't go in the 1st round. There's a step off in talent from your 1st round quarterbacks to your 3rd round quarterbacks. 1st round quarterbacks, you feel like or you think that they have a certain talent ability, a certain skill set where they can be a franchise quarterback. You feel like they have the potential to be a franchise quarterback. 3rd, 4th round quarterbacks, okay, you're backup level. We think you got backup level talent. So it's like, it's almost like we got a Toyota Camry out here in the Daytona 500. No matter how new that Camry is, how clean it is, it's still a Camry. It can't compete with these cars that were built, made, and manufactured to be some of the fastest cars in the world. It just don't have it in it to compete with these other cars that's going around this track 200 miles an hour. And that's kind of where Desmond Ridder is at this point. You know, he just ain't the guy. He just simply is not the guy. No matter how much the Falcons tried to pump him up, no matter how much some of the media tried to pump him up, no matter how much some of our very own fans tried to pump him up, he's just not the guy. It don't take me 5, 6, 7 years to say, okay, that he just don't got it. Not saying that he's trash, not saying that he's garbage, but he's not a starting quarterback. He would be a damn good backup. Damn good backup. Desmond Ridder is what you call a top tier backup quarterback. That's what he is. There's nothing wrong with that. Desmond Ridder could have a 15 to 18 year career in the NFL, make generational money. That way his kids don't have to work hard. That's a backup. We see and we know plenty of backups who just have stayed in the league for 15 years and made some good money as a backup quarterback. That's what he is. Now, where they go from here these last 3 games, I don't know. Do they continue to play Desmond Ridder? Probably so. Do you bring in Taylor Heineke? I'm not sure. Do you say bump it? Let's bring in Logan Woodside. What do we got to lose? Maybe so. I have no idea. But next year, when does free agency start? March? Then the draft is in April? Your number one priority, who's ever making the decision for the Falcons at that point in time, your number one priority better be your quarterback room. It better be getting a new quarterback in here. That has to be your number one priority because Ridder just is not it. He just is not it at all. And also shout out to the Greg. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for the super chat. Another super chat. In fact, Greg says London was wide, the F open, and you threw it across your body into a crowd of Panthers. Okay, got it, Ridder. You hot garbage, bro. Let's bang the ball. And you absolutely right, Greg. And that goes into some of what I'm saying about him. He just ain't got it. And you're right. London was wide open, and he threw it to Drake, who was triple covered at that point in time. Triple coverage. Decision making. Has horrible decision making. And I think at times when that pressure gets to him or he has to make a throw where he might have to think, or like you say, on the run, sometimes he just makes the dumbest decisions. As we saw today, that was a back-breaking interception. That really ended the game for us because they got the ball back and then went right down the field and scored. And I hate to say this, but when he threw that interception, I said to myself, Greg, yep, the Falcons about the Falcon. In fact, I was on Sean Glover's stream when it happened. And I typed it in the comment section. I said, the Falcons about the Falcon. And that's exactly what happened. Carolina got the ball. They drove the ball all the way down the field. And eventually kicked the game-winning field goal. And that's coming from Ridder. Ridder is so turnover prone that you expect the interception. You expect the turnovers with Desmond Ridder. You just expect it. You know it's coming. You don't know exactly when, but you know an interception is coming. You know it's coming. And then when you throw those kind of interceptions, it deflates the Falcons so much, and then it lifts up the Panthers. They were able to take our deflated energy. They were able to take our deflated energy and transfer that into productive energy for them. And they were able to use that and drive all the way down the field. All the way down the field. And I firmly believe if they had to, they would have scored a touchdown. If the score called for them to, they would have scored a touchdown. But the score didn't call for that. All they had to do is take 3 knees, kick the easiest field goal you can ever kick in your life as an NFL field goal kicker. And that's what we've seen all season from Desmond Ridder. Turnover after turnover after turnover after turnover after turnover. Fumble after fumble after fumble. It's got to the point where he fumbles so much that I just feel like this is part of what's going to happen with Ridder. He's going to fumble it, but let's just get on the ball. I think he fumbled it twice, and we luckily got on the ball both times. I just have accepted that from Ridder. Ridder is going to fumble 2 snaps a game. And it's almost like the team know it because they be right there to get on the ball. Ridder, I say this every week, but Ridder is the luckiest quarterback I've ever seen in my life. Because I think right now he has probably 15 turnovers right now. Ridder easily could have almost 30 turnovers. All those fumbles and all those drop interceptions. Ridder is the luckiest quarterback I've ever seen in my life. I always say this, but Desmond Ridder, if you don't play the Georgia lottery, my man, you should. Because you got some great luck on your side. You got some fantastic luck on your side. Ridder is going to fumble the snap at least 2 times. That's a given. Granted, you can take that to Vegas and get rich out Desmond Ridder fumbling. Oh, yeah, I'm going to put $100 on Desmond Ridder going to fumble the snap at least twice. Go get your money. You're going to have that money by the third quarter. Go up there and get your money. He's going to fumble. I remember early in the season, they were trying to put the snap fumbles on the center. They were trying to blame that on Dalman. Oh, man, that's Dalman's fault. That is Dalman's fault. No, that's just Desmond Ridder. That's who he is. He's a walking, talking turnover machine. And he's a backup quarterback. That's okay. We now know what he is. And everybody that's watching this, I'm going to say this. When you watch other Falcons content creators who make it their business to defend Desmond Ridder at all costs, don't let them do it anymore. Today should be the final straw. If you make Falcons content and you're coming on after today's game, you're still trying to push the be patient with Ridder narrative, you ought to have tomatoes thrown at you. So y'all, please, if those content creators are still trying to defend Ridder and blame everybody else, please throw tomatoes at them in the comment section. Just get on your smartphone and just put a bunch of tomatoes in the comment section because they deserve those tomatoes. Now, I get it. I get being a positive fan, rooting for your team, rooting for your starting quarterback. I understand that. I totally get it. And I also understand the silent. Let me repeat this. I also understand the silent quarterback politics that exists in this fan base and how it works. The unspoken quarterback politics that permeate this fan base. And I understand that and some agendas are the reason that some people that make Falcons content push the Desmond Ridder narrative so much. I get it. But those people need tomatoes thrown at them. Also throw a banana or 2 at them. Even a pineapple. Because pineapples weigh more than tomatoes do. So cock back, throwing tomatoes. Get you a pineapple. Throw tomatoes, throw pineapples. Just let them rip. Because after today, nobody in front of a microphone should be trying to continue that be patient with Ridder narrative. I could tell Ridder got what it takes narrative. We don't care about Ridder being a great leader either. If you're a great leader and you lack talent, okay, good. Do that with the second team and the third team. When it's time for the scout team on practice, be a good leader with the scout team and the practice team. But with the starters, the money makers, no, 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 no. It's time for us to get our quarterback in here. If that means we got to draft him, we got to draft him. It's not always the easiest thing to find a guy in free agency. So I don't know how that's going to work. You know, of course, some people are linking us to Justin Fields in the trade. I don't know how that's going to work. My preference is to go draft the guy. My preference is to draft the guy. At least if you draft the guy, look, you got 4 years on the rookie contract. That's my drawback with Fields is you gotta have to pay him the very next year, and that means you're gonna lose a lot of talent in the process. You know, we already got some good pieces on offense. We got some good pieces on defense. Let's continue to build. Now, if they went with this strategy of this building the team and then bringing in the quarterback, it's time to bring in the quarterback. you can't go on another draft without bringing in the quarterback. You know, you took your wide receivers, you took your tight ends, and you took your running back. Now you got to go get your quarterback. You got to. You got to go and get your quarterback now. You know, so all this boosting Ridder and pumping up Ridder, that has to stop. That because at this point you're being disingenuous at this point. At this point you got some agendas that you just don't want to put to bed. You know, week 4, week 5, week 6, if y'all just call, y'all was calling us Desmond Ridder haters, okay, that's fine because the season is still young. You know, hey, we ain't gave him enough time. I'm willing to go with you on that. I can slightly see your point of view when you say that. Week 4 and week 5, yeah, you're right. He's only started a handful of games at that point. Get a guy some time. Cool. But here we are pretty much at the ass end of this season. No, ain't nobody should still be pumping that Desmond Ridder. Be patient with Ridder. He has what it takes, blah, 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 blah. No. All of that at this point in time, that's over with. That is over with. All at this point in time, that is over with. I even saw today on Twitter, Falcon legend Roddy White. And one thing about Roddy, I follow Roddy on Twitter like I'm sure a lot of y'all do who are on Twitter. One thing about Roddy that has always been consistent with him on Twitter, Roddy don't criticize Falcons players, or he don't call them out. He'll get on his Twitter and he'll say stuff about the games. You'll see Roddy criticize other players, but Roddy and his bias, he's not going to call out Falcons players. Until today, Roddy tweeted, as you see it on the screen, Ridder got to stop the red zone interceptions. Give your team a chance to win the game. Let's ring the bell for Roddy White. It's bad when Roddy has to criticize a Falcons player, especially a quarterback. I've never seen Roddy even come remotely close to saying anything bad about his quarterback. Matt Ryan's final 2 years when it became like cool and popular to be critical of Matt because it was obvious that his play had declined, you ain't gonna catch Roddy saying that bad about his quarterback. That's just how Roddy has always been. Roddy has said nothing bad about Desmond Ridder in the 2 years he's been here until today. Roddy, like a lot of us, okay, I've seen enough. That's pretty much what Roddy is saying in that tweet. I've seen enough. I have seen enough. Falcons, get this guy out of here. Go get your guy next year for Atlanta. What's up, Ms. B? Roddy's pretty much saying, go get your guy next year, Atlanta. I've seen enough. I've had enough. I'm frustrated. The Desmond Ridder project should be over as of today. So it's bad when Roddy White is coming out with criticism of Ridder. You know it's bad at that point. You know it's terrible at that point. So Fontenot, Arthur Smith, whoever is making these draft decisions, who's ever making these personnel decisions, you got to go and get your quarterback next year. This Ridder thing is over, man. It is over. I don't care if Ridder throws for 500 yards a game these next 3 games, 4 touchdowns each game, no interceptions. He got to go. You've seen enough. You've seen enough to know that you cannot depend on this guy not to turn the ball over. Walking, talking, turnover. As Greg mentioned earlier, decision making is horrible. And he don't put points on the scoreboard. We saw that being foreshadowed last year. Ridder don't put points on the scoreboard. He didn't throw those last 2 touchdowns until the second half of that Tampa Bay game, when Tampa Bay pretty much laid down and said, okay, y'all can have the game because we're going to the playoffs. He can't put points on the scoreboard. So you got to fix the quarterback room. You got to fix the quarterback room. You got to. What's up, Antonio? Antonio says not Fontenot or Smith making the decision. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know, Antonio, but I can't give Fontenot no pass. Everybody got to catch the smoke. Since I don't know who doing what and we only can speculate, everybody get it equally. I can't sit here and come on here and be super critical of Ridder and to an extent Bijan and Arthur Smith, and then just say, well, no, but Terry Fontenot, he good. I can't do it. He's the general manager. So he has to catch some of this heat also. He is the general manager. When it's draft time and they make draft decisions, Terry Fontenot is always front and center explaining, this is why I drafted this guy. This is what he's going to do for Atlanta. This is why we went in this direction. This is why we're building a team like this. So I just can't I can't just turn a blind eye to Fontenot. Antonio Henderson says Fontenot had no power because he came after the coach was hired. Well, that's not what the team is telling us. Arthur Blank, Terry Fontenot, Arthur Smith has all stated publicly numerous times that the decision making is a joint effort. It's a joint effort, but between Fontenot, Arthur Smith, Arthur Blank also said this: I leave it up to those guys to make the football decisions, and if they need me, if they ask, then I'll give my input. So I can't let Terry off the hook. I can't. He's the general manager. He got to be on the hook. Yeah, I know he wasn't hired first, but I find it hard to believe that they're just paying Terry Fontenot to not have any kind of input on the draft, not any kind of input on the personnel. I find it hard to believe that once Fontenot got here, we got an influx of Saints players. We got an influx of Saints coaches. So I find it hard to believe that can happen. You bring in all Terry people, all his players, and then when it's time, because we can't give him some credit for that because the defense is better, defensive coordinator better. So we can give him some credit for that. But when it's time to give him the blame, then we say, well, we can't blame him now. We can't blame him because he don't have any power. I can't do that. Because if I want to give him credit for some things he's done good, I also got to give him some blame for what has been bad. So I just find it very difficult to believe that Terry has absolutely no power. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. Do I think that he has the kind of power that a Bill Parcells had in his day or a Bill Belichick has had in New England? Of course not. But do I think he has some power and some say so? Yes, I do. I do. So if I could give Arthur Smith some smoke for bad coaching, I got to give Fontenot some smoke for how the team has been assembled. Because all these skill position player guys that came in, that we took early in the draft, combined, They get 72 yards of offense today in a very critical game in regards to us making the playoffs and no touchdowns. So I got to give Fontenot some smoke too. I really do. I just can't let him off the hook. Smart Rod, what's up? Smart Rod says Arthur and Ridder have to go. Let's ring the bell for that. I totally agree. Gotta go. What's up, Austin? Says no doubt Arthur Smith will be gone tomorrow. I hope so, my friend. I hope so, my friend. Please. Please. 3 Dirty. What's up, bro? How you feeling? Says Terry Fontenot gave the coaches the ammunition. They're not hitting the target. Definitely didn't hit the target at all today. Not one bit. We missed all targets of day 3. We missed there. We couldn't hit the side of a barn today. Antonio says Terry handles the books and that's what he does, but it's not like he can really speak on the Smith or Blank has listened to any of Smith any promises. Antonio, how do you know this? Because what you're saying is going against everything that the shot callers of the Falcons are saying. Because the shot callers are saying it's a joint decision. I've heard all 3 of them say that on numerous occasions. That it's a joint decision. Arthur Blank even went as far as saying, and this was an interview he did this year, he went as far as saying sometimes Terry and Arthur don't always agree on personnel decisions, but they find a way to communicate and come to a common ground. That was Arthur Blank. He said they don't always agree on personnel, but they find a way to come to common ground. Nobody has ever came out from the Falcons and said Terry Fontenot has no say-so on the personnel. Nobody has ever said that. Now, I hear fans assume that Terry has no power, but I'm going to be honest. Me personally, my opinion, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Corey says, what's up, Corey? Terry has power. He was just getting the grocery that Arthur Smith wanted. Terry probably questioned some of the picks, and Arthur Smith probably was like, Terry, I got this. Not sure. And that's kind of why I'm at where I'm at, y'all. Because we're all assuming what goes on behind closed doors, and no, none of us truly actually know. None of us, me included. But what we do know is Fontenot is the general manager. And I just can't give the head coach every single bit of the blame and not get a GM no blame. I can't do that. I'm going to sit here and I'll smoke Arthur Blank. I will smoke Arthur Smith. I'll bang on Arthur Smith. But I'm not going to just sit here after I do this and say, well, Terry, you doing good because you ain't got no power. Let me give you a pat on the back. You don't have absolutely no power. I just can't do that. I fail to believe that Terry Fontenot, 20 plus years experience in players and player personnel, has no say-so in the NFL draft. All that experience he has doing this in New Orleans, building a team, which is the main reason that we brought him to Atlanta, per Arthur Blank, based on his resume and his experience. I just cannot believe a guy with that kind of resume, you bring him to Atlanta and say, well, you're only going to be restricted to manage the books. That's your only job. You can't have a say-so in nothing as far as the draft go. That's only for the head coach. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't buy that. I can't buy that. Now, if Fontenot comes out and say that's how it is or that's how it was years from now, I'll come back and say, you know what, y'all were right. But as of right now, I just can't buy that. I cannot buy that. So Terry has to get some blame. Also, I can't solely blame Arthur Smith when we have a general manager. When things are not going right on the team, when they're questioned about the player personnel, yeah, you look at the general manager. Yeah, you look at the head coach. So I just can't give Terry the pass and just say he has no input at all on this. I just fail to believe that Arthur Smith has sole authority and sole autonomy when it comes to the draft. I just don't buy it. I don't believe it. I really don't. But this has to be a different Falcons team next year. Like I say, we of course we're gonna have a lot of time in the off season, so we'll have plenty of time to do our mock drafts and do our speculation on who should quarterback the team next year. Should we trade for Fields or bring in Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray? I'm sure there'll be a dark horse name that pops up also. But at this point, man, you can't do the Desmond Ridder thing. You can't do the Desmond Ridder thing. You can't do it. Antonio says Smith made it known Ridder was a starter with no quarterback competition. Do you think Terry agreed with that, or do you think he had to accept it because Smith was blank picks and not his own? Well, we talked about that. I think it was last week, and shout out to Winston. Winston actually made a great point that it was Arthur Blank who came out first publicly and kind of made the made a public statement that the team was going to lean towards Desmond Ridder being the starter. You know, he kind of came out publicly with that. Now, do I think Arthur Smith had a lot to do with that? Do I think Arthur Smith probably wanted Ridder more than Fontenot did? Probably so, because he's the head coach. You know, he sees the guys every day in practice. He knows who's good at what and who isn't good at what. So probably so. But that goes back to how Ridder got here. And I won't go into that because we already talked about that. As far as Matt Ryan being traded, Matt Sharp being retired, and they had to draft the quarterback. When I say I can't let Terry off the hook with no blame, I'm not speaking solely on Desmond Ridder at all. So let me actually clarify that. I'm saying how this team was built, how this team was assembled. You know, I have made no bones. I have not been shy in saying I don't like how we drafted in the first round with the new regime. I don't like it. I didn't like the Kyle Pitts pick. I went huge on the Drake London pick, but I actually like Drake. Uh, in the right situation, I think Drake London will be a complete dog. Didn't like the running back at at 8. And all during this time, it has been Terry Fontenot said, my drafting strategy is best player available. Y'all know I bitched about that. Best player available. Best player available. That has been Fontenot. It also has been Fontenot that said his strategy is to build a team and then bring in a quarterback, similar to what Kansas City did with Mahomes. So in the process, you get a tight end at 4 when you probably should have went somewhere else, even if you had to trade down. You get a running back at 8 when you probably should have went somewhere else. So when I say I'm blaming Terry for some of this too, that's what I'm talking about. How the team was assembled. I don't think Fontenot and Smith did a great job drafting in the first round. That's my issue. And as I pointed out, in a critical game that had very big playoff implications, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson had 72 yards combined as a trio and no touchdowns. It's almost like you could have went in free agency and got what Kyle Pitts give you and dedicate that 4th pick to somewhere else. Even Fontenot, if you had to trade down. Was it really necessary to take 2 consecutive pass catchers in the top 8 of the draft? Was it absolutely necessary, no matter how talented this guy is? And trust me, he is super talented. Was it really necessary, Terry Fontenot? Was it really necessary, Terry Fontenot, to take a running back at 8 who fumbled today, had 14 total yards, had almost as many fumbles as he did yards? Was it necessary, Terry Fontenot, to take a running back at 8 when you just had a Tyler Algier who set a franchise rushing record as a rookie? Was that a real necessity, or was that a luxury? But remember, Terry Fontenot always told us it's best player available. That's his drafting strategy. So when I tell you I gotta blame Terry Fontenot, when I say I have to blame Fontenot also, that's what I'm talking about. I can't blame Arthur Smith for coaching and drafting. I can't blame Arthur Smith solely for coaching and drafting. We're giving Smith way too much credit at that point. If you're going to blame him for the coaching, you're going to blame him for all the drafting, you're going to blame him for the strategy of the rebuild also. And we're only going to praise Terry for what we think he did well. That's not fair. And I know the world ain't fair, but we just can't totally ignore the bad from Terry and only praise him for the good. You win as a team, you lose as a team. So as long as he's my general manager, as long as he comes out publicly and tell me his strategy, his thoughts, his frame of mind, his mindset, as long as he comes out publicly and he tell me, hey, these are joint decisions, I'm going to take him at his word. Especially when that word is being backed by his head coach, and especially when that word is being backed by his owner. Chris said, "No, Terry good." I think Terry is okay. I'm not calling nobody good at this point, coming off a loss like we had today. And his administration is yet to put a winning team on the field. That's not good to me. I can't give him good. I think he's okay. Now, if Fontenot is here next year, the Falcons go 10-7 or 11-6, I may upgrade my okay from okay to good. But I'm not rewarding being below average. Falcons are 6-8 right now, under Terry Fontenot, under Arthur Smith. To me, at best, he is okay. I'm giving Arthur Smith bad, but I'm not going to come back and say, well, Terry Fontenot has been good or he has been great. I know a lot of people want to give Fontenot credit. They say, well, Terry Fontenot came in and he fixed the salary cap. Well, did he really? Or did those contracts just naturally expire? Those are not lifetime contracts. They were going to expire at some point. Now, we'll give Fontenot credit for finessing those draft picks he got, because we sold Tennessee a lemon and Julio. We sold we sold Indianapolis a lemon with Matt Ryan. So we won with the draft picks. I'll give him credit for that, for sure. Even the Calvin Ridley thing. I didn't think that they were going to be able to trade Calvin Ridley while he was on suspension and get potentially a second-round pick for him if he does sign an extension with Jacksonville. So, yeah, I will give Terry credit for that. But I'm sorry, y'all. I just can't sit here and sing Terry Fontenot's supreme praises and this team has not had a winning season under him. The general manager that this fan base hated the most, Thomas Dimitroff was winning and going to the playoffs in his first few years here. Dimitroff went and got a quarterback when everybody wanted him to go get Glenn Dorsey. All this fan base was talking, oh, go get Glenn Dorsey. No, I'm going to get a quarterback. I'm going to get this guy from Boston College, and we're going to go to the playoffs. So I'm going to judge both general managers with the same measuring stick. All the same kind of blame that we gave the previous GM, I'm going to get a current GM the same blame. When the bad drafting happened with Dimitroff, we went sitting here saying, well, that's Mike Smith's fault. Nope, that ain't Dimitroff's fault. When the bad drafting happened, well, that ain't Dimitroff's fault. That's Dan Quinn's fault. No, I'm going to judge them both the same. It ain't gonna be no double standards. If we sat here and we slandered Dimitroff for bad drafting and things he did wrong in the draft, I'm gonna look at Fontenot out of the same lens. I'm gonna look at Fontenot out of that same exact lens. I saw Dimitroff come in here. He took a 4-12 team who had just lost their quarterback. You know what? Very next year, we're in the playoffs. Very next year, we're in the playoffs. Win the NFC championship game, which we should have won, with a rookie quarterback. Still on a rookie, with a quarterback still on a rookie deal. Pardon me. Let me correct that. Dimitroff came in here. He got us to the NFC championship with a quarterback on a rookie deal. A rookie deal. Antonio says that's two different regimes, Toddy, and the hiring process of both GMs is different. Dimitroff hired his own coach, Terry didn't. Antonio, let me see how I can say this. If you honestly think Dimitroff, as a brand new GM, actually hired a head coach, you ain't thinking in the same capacity. If you honestly think Arthur Blank, when the person that pressed those buttons to hire, we ain't thinking in the same capacity. If you really think a young Thomas Dimitroff, I think Dimitroff was about 38 or 40 when he got the job. He was very young. At most, he was in his mid-40s. If you think Arthur Blank just sat back and said, hey, man, just go hire who you want to hire, big dog. You got it, big dog. That's your team. No, I'm looking at them both the same way. I'm not finna make no excuses for Fontenot that I didn't make for Dimitroff. That's really where I'm at with it. I'm not saying that Terry has been bad or he's been trash, but I'm not gonna come on here and just sing his praises either. The team is 6-8. The team is 6-8 with 2 7-10 seasons under Terry Fontenot. What has Fontenot done to receive so much glaring praise? What has he done? That I shouldn't sit here and look at him and judge him how we judge Thomas Dimitroff. I'm going to look at them both the same way. Antonio said, I already said Terry gets no pass. Okay, cool. Well, maybe I'm misunderstanding the point you're trying to make. Because I was under the assumption that you're saying Fontenot has been good or very great, and maybe that's not what you're saying. So if so, my bad on that. What's up, G? G says we got to get the right coach in here for starters. I agree with you on that. I'm done. Arthur Smith, he needs to go. 7 a.m. tomorrow. I should get a notification on my phone that Arthur Smith has been dismissed from his job. We should get a notification on our phone that he has been dismissed. I'm totally over him. I don't know who they're gonna bring in if he's fired. I hadn't really even thought about it. Who they would hire next, but he gotta go. He gotta go. He gotta go. All right, what's up, Art? So you're blaming the brother Tidy. What about the man above him? If you're speaking of fun, though, I'm not blaming him. I'm just not dismissing him from any blame. You know, I gave him his praises for the things that he did right. But what I'm trying to say, Art boy, is I'm not gonna sit here and spend an hour just shitting on Arthur Smith and then come back and act like Fontenot has been flawless. That's pretty much what I'm saying. I'm not gonna come up here and just down Arthur Smith for a whole hour and then act like, well, Terry Fontenot has done no wrong. He don't deserve any kind of criticism. That's pretty much what I'm saying. To clarify, I said Arthur Smith deserves to be fired. And I also said I don't think Fontenot deserves to be fired. But at the very minimum, his seat should be a little warm. That's pretty much where I'm at with it. And I'll even paint the picture even deeper here. Hypothetically speaking, right? Let's say we fire Arthur Smith tomorrow. He's fired tomorrow. We bring in a new head coach, right? I knock on wood. Follow me on this, Art. I'm knocking on wood. I hope it don't happen. But let's say Smith gets fired tomorrow. We hire a new coach. We go to the 2024 season, right? Follow me on this. And we go 7-10. Or even worse, 6-11. At that point, don't you think it's fair to actually really dig deep into Terry Fontenot? Because at that point, now you got two different coaches, and Fontenot still doesn't have a winning season. So I'm not blaming him, but I'm saying you can't look past him either because he is the general manager. So there is some responsibilities that come with that. You know, you just can't blame every single thing on the head coach solely. That's pretty much what I am saying. Shadron, what's up, bro? Says that in a session just explained our season and his coach. Trash. My guy Red in the building. What's up with you, Red? Let's ring the bell for Red. Y'all make sure also, please, y'all show Red some love on his YouTube channel. He's one of the youngest. He's probably the youngest. I think Jeff is probably a little bit older than you, Rick. But shout out to my boy Jeff too. I ain't seen Jeff in the comments in a minute. But make sure to follow Red on YouTube. He's a Falcons content creator. He's 11 years old. If he hasn't just turned 12, but he does some great content, y'all. So make sure to show him some love. Diehard Falcon fan like the rest of us does. And so do me a favor, show him some love, subscribe to his channel, run up the comments, run up the likes, run up the shares. Red says, maybe Jim Harbaugh. Hey, I'd be good with Harbaugh. It seems like wherever Harbaugh goes, he finds a way to win in the NFL and college. So I would be good with Harbaugh. I definitely would. Definitely would. Will I am. What's up, Will? This is breaking news off the blank fired his head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. Can't wait for the headline. Me and you both. Me and you both. Me and you both. A1 Felb in the building. What's up, A1? My dog A1 Felb in the building. Y'all make sure to also show him some love on YouTube as well. Does a lot of great Falcons content, a lot of other Georgia sports content, and just a cool cat all around. What's happening with your tips is if Terry hired Arthur Smith, I would say fire him tomorrow too, but he didn't, so maybe keep him and see. Oh yeah. I don't want to get it misconstrued. I'm not saying fire Terry Fontenot. Yeah, I'm definitely not saying that. I think Terry deserves to be here for another year. I'm not saying fire Terry. What I'm saying too, I'm just saying like I just can't make I can't make 100% of the Falcons solely Arthur Smith. I just can't make him the ready-made scapegoat. Even though I think he deserves to be fired, Arthur Smith, but you have to look at the general manager too. He got to receive some kind of criticism. Neither one of these guys have a winning season in their current profession. Arthur Smith doesn't have a winning season as a head coach. Terry Fontenot doesn't have a winning season as a general manager. So what I'm just saying is, like, Terry isn't blameless, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not gonna give 1,000% blame to Smith and give Fontenot 1,000% of praise. So that's pretty much what I'm saying in regards to the Terry Fontenot. Little E, what's up, Little E? Says Bill Belichick, GM, Harbaugh coach. Hey, man. That means we'd have to fire Fontenot, but I ain't mad at the idea, Little E. I ain't mad at the idea at all. I kind of think, man, it's funny that you mentioned Belichick, but I kind of think Arthur Blank need like a head coach who wouldn't mind telling him, hey, man, keep your ass up there in the owner's box, until the game is officially over. As long as there's time on the clock, I'm the owner of the team. We don't want to see you, Mr. Blank, until the game is over. That's when you come out of the owner's box. I mean, not in those exact words, but y'all understand where I'm coming from. Just a head coach who got enough on his resume and enough clout and enough power to say, okay, Arthur Blank, this is my team when I'm the coach. You the owner. And let's not cross these lines. I want us to have a strong-willed head coach the next time. Money with the sauce. What's up, Money? Says, if we being honest, it's just time to fire Arthur Smith out. Let's ring the bell for that. Definitely agree. T. Terry, what's up? T. Terry probably right. Nielsen would probably take over if they do happen to fire Arthur Smith. That's probably who would take over. Probably would be Ryan Nielsen. And that way you keep him in the house. You don't maybe do the whole Shanahan thing again. Hey, you got a good young coach here, keep him in the house. So I agree with you on that, T. Terry. What's up, Shadron? Says we need a veteran head coach. At this point, I'm about ready for veteran head coaches. Kind of tired of the first year head coaches, y'all. But with all that said, man, it's time to get off the blank. I keep saying off the blank. It's time to get Arthur Smith out of here. He had his time here in Atlanta. Things have not went the way they should. The way we hoped they would these first 3 years. And this year has been just an utter disappointment. We have not had a dominant win or a dominant game. Lost to the Panthers, which is an embarrassment. And the teams that we have beat, our schedule have been ice cream and cake. So really, this is not a good Falcons team, y'all. Just being totally honest with y'all. This is not a good Falcons team. And the rebuild, we're still rebuilding. So far, this is the rebuild that did not rebuild. And boy, this offseason gonna be crazy. Don't be surprised if you see Kyle Pitts, free Kyle Pitts, by the way. Hashtag free Kyle Pitts, free Kyle Pitts. Don't be surprised if you see Kyle Pitts' name in trade rumors. Don't be surprised. You heard it here, right here on ABG. Also, being that we're going to be a quarterback needy team, don't be surprised if Tyler, the creator, gets packaged and traded. Just telling you. I love Tyler. But I'm just telling y'all, with Bijan here, Tyler is expendable. Even though he does great things for the run game, he is a running back. He's still young. He's still on his rookie deal. And he's very good. So that makes him very attractive to another team, especially if the Falcons say, F it, we're going to trade up and get us a top-notch quarterback. Do not be surprised if Tyler Algier is in a trade package next year. Just saying. Don't be surprised. Hashtag free Kyle Pitts. And on that note, I've been here for about 90 minutes. The Falcons really pissed me off today. Really pissed all of us off today. Embarrassed the fan base. Embarrassed the city. embarrass the state, embarrass themselves, and changes need to be made. I'm officially out of here. We will be back tomorrow for the player grades. That should be interesting. That'll give us 24 hours to kind of calm down a little bit and see how we're going to look at things going forward. Hopefully, by the time we do the player grades, Arthur Smith will be out of here on his private jet headed back to Memphis to do whatever he's going to do at FedEx. But, y'all, it's been real. Unfortunately, we really had to bite this ugly loss, losing 9-7 against a terrible, terrible team. But I will see y'all again tomorrow. I'll come on tomorrow about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and y'all be ready to do the player grades, and we'll have something else on the menu to talk about as well. Until then, man, y'all enjoy the remaining. We'll enjoy the Sunday night game because the 4 o'clock game is about over now. But enjoy the Sunday night game, and y'all be blessed. Peace.